Welcome to the Hopefulist Hot Take. Here it is the weekend, and I want to encourage you to make sure that you rest and recover this weekend. Most of us are completely mentally drained and exhausted, and you need this weekend to recover. And I hope that you get a chance to do that. Here's the reason why. Women are in charge of almost all of the emotional labor in relationships, in the family. And there was a study that was done. There were two groups of people. One group of people had to memorize a 2-digit number. The other group of people had to memorize a 7-digit number. After they were asked to recall the number, the people who only had 2 numbers to recall were then given a choice. You can have, as a treat, as a reward, some ice cream, or you can have some fruit. What would you rather have? And in the group that had 2 numbers to recall, about half of them picked ice cream. The other half picked the fruit because they were probably like, well, I would really like the ice cream, but, I'm trying to be healthy and, it's better to have the fruit, so I'll have the fruit. So it's about half and half. In the group that had to memorize 7 numbers, obviously much more difficult to remember 7 numbers than 2 numbers. When they were given the choice of ice cream or fruit, it was almost 100% ice cream. So what am I trying to say here? What I'm trying to say is that the people in the group that had to memorize 7 numbers were mentally exhausted. And they didn't have the mental capacity to reason with themselves in the fact that maybe I should pick the fruit. I've been trying to be more healthy. I'm trying to make better choices. They didn't do that. And the reason is because they had taken so much of their mental energy to remember the 7 numbers that by the time the decision came around to pick ice cream or fruit, they just picked the easiest choice and the one that they truly wanted. So what does all of this mean? To me, it means so much. It explains so much. It explains why we get takeout for dinner. It explains why we're eating packaged food constantly. It explains why we are just sitting in front of the television instead of doing together activities with the family that are more beneficial, because we have so much going on in our lives that we are literally mentally exhausted at the end of the day. Women are mentally exhausted because we all know that women are the ones that have to do all of the planning, make all the arrangements, then do the job, and then come home and clean up from whatever it is that had to be arranged and then carried out. So yes, this is why in this age where women are working and they come home from a long day at work, they don't want to make dinner. And they don't even have the mental capacity to order something that's healthy because they have worked really hard and they are exhausted and they just want something that tastes good and feels good. And this is probably a lot of the reason why we have a weight issue in this country. We are all mentally exhausted. So over this weekend, try to figure out all of these situations when you are making decisions, when you are likely mentally exhausted, and give yourself a pass. Stop bashing yourself for all of these decisions that you make when you are exhausted. Everyone will make the easiest choice, will pick the easiest choice when they are exhausted. They are going to make a choice that will make them feel good, that is easy on them, and will give them a little bit of joy in the moment. And if you are looking for change in your life, You have to figure out how to limit this mental exhaustion. And that's where the real problem lies. Because in this patriarchal world, women are the ones assigned to all of the emotional labor. And until we can start to change that, it's going to be very difficult to change anything else. So put a little thought into that this weekend. Put a little thought into how many decisions you have had to make before you even get home to start making decisions about the family, about dinner, about activities, about what you're going to do before bed, how you're going to rest and relax. Recovery is extremely important after having to make all of these decisions. So don't bash yourself when you get takeout for dinner or when you make an unhealthy choice when it comes to something that you want to eat. The real issue is, what are we going to do about this over the long haul? Because we all want to be healthier, eat healthier, have healthier lives. We have to change the conversation around why all of this emotional labor is falling on women. And that's what we need to change. But give yourself the time to rest and recover this weekend. And I will see you on Monday for the podcast.